What's up, everybody? It is Catherine here. There has been quite a lot going on, hence this impromptu video. I am house sitting for my neighbor, so I have my animals here with me. In the background, you may see Hershey there. So this video is not going to be the easiest for me to do. All right. Mainly because we are touching on a subject that is still very sensitive. It still leaves me feeling raw. And it feels like half my world shattered still. But I feel like you guys need to know, considering she was in some of my videos in the past. Actually, I think she was only in one. But my wife, also known as Sharana Silverwind, my wife, though, passed away on 1 second. Sorry about that. My wife passed away on June 11th of 2021, or this year. And it, literally when I got the news, it's like half of my world shattered. And then half of my world shattered when I had to break the news to my 6-year-old. But we're going to real quickly take a quick break. This video is very difficult. Thankfully, most phones these days have a pause function when recording. I'm trying not to break down in this video. So when I feel like I'm going to break down, we're going to have to take a break. Alright? So we're going to take a quick break. Alright. So let me explain what happened. On June 11th, our AC had busted. So our neighbor said we could come over and chill out in her AC, to bring over our 2 dogs at the time. And yes, I say at the time because there is a good part of this video. I just kind of want to keep everybody updated on what's been going on. And so I took our daughter, I took the 2 dogs over to our neighbor's house. Wasn't even over there 5 minutes, and she needed to go somewhere. She wanted me to go with her. We didn't have room to take my kid because we were using her smaller of her 2 vehicles. And so I brought my 6-year-old daughter over to the house. She ran in the house, saw her mom collapse on the floor, gasping for air. She didn't know what was going on. She just said, "Mama Kay." She said, "Mama Kay, something's wrong with Mom." So I tried to get in the door. I couldn't because she was collapsed right in front of the front door. I was able to shimmy my way in. And then I quickly poked my head out and I told my neighbor, "Go ahead and go. There is something wrong with my wife." I shut the door and I started assessing the scene where I could easily move her to, because my wife was very, I want to say overweight or like fat or anything. She was, she was heavy. And dead weight is heavier than someone who's trying to help you move too. So so I was checking her out and checking the places where I can move her to, trying to just make a little bit of space because the house had been a mess. My neighbor comes in, or shimmies her way into the house, and she's like, "We need to start chest compressions." She started chest compressions, was calling the ambulance. It was so hot, it was like 80 degrees in the house, climbing into the 90s because the AC was broke. And she's like, "I'm getting hot." She was dripping sweat. It was so hot in the house, and she asked me to take over. I took over, kept giving her, CPR until the ambulance arrived. They came out when they got here. It was about 15 minutes after we got off the phone with them. So after they got here, they tried for 45 minutes to get a heartbeat and a pulse and things like that. They got it. It would just go in and out. So they called the hospital and they asked, "What should we do?" The hospital told them to bring her over. They had a few things there. There's a few things that they could try over there. I, of course, after the ambulance left, I made sure I got everything that I needed: phone cord, chargers, all those things, just in case. I picked out a change of clothes and stuff for her because I didn't know if she was going to make it or not. And if she did, I knew she would want to change of clothes because she was butt naked, literally butt naked on the floor. And I got to the hospital. They checked me in, and then I was pulled into a small room, or I was called and taken back to a small room. The doctor came in, I want to say about 15 minutes later, and told me that she didn't make it. At that point, I was in shock. Half of my entire world was collapsing. I was angry. I was mainly angry with myself. Like, what could I have done better? If I wouldn't have frozen up, if I would have reacted faster, could she still be here? Give me just 1 second. I'm starting to cry. Sorry about that. This is, like I said, it still leaves me raw and emotional talking about it. But I was angry. If I wouldn't have frozen up and I would have reacted, would that have made a difference? Going through the whole, I hate myself for not, for freezing up and my neighbor helping, and not necessarily mad at my neighbor, but just mad at the fact that my neighbor had to react for me because I was freaking out when I know how to do CPR. I know how to do first aid. I have training in both, like several refreshers of training in both. That's her cat knocking over the broom in the house. So I worked through that a little bit of anger, and the coroner came in, said she wanted to be an organ donor, so he gave me the number of the people I needed to call. Of course, I was doing all of this without cell signal on my own phone, which is what would make life so much easier. So I still didn't hear anything from the organ people when he called and gave them my temporary phone number I was using. My mom, of course, when I told her, I was outside crying, like in between, I needed breaks. They have a no smoking, no vaping policy here, but they literally bent the rules for me because of the news that I got. Just as long as I was out of everybody's way, they didn't seem to have they didn't have a problem with it. And they told me I could just stay out of people's way, with it. So I was outside vaping, crying, called her mom, called her dad. They told her brother. And then my mom and my sister got to the hospital. We went back and we sat with her. So I got to say goodbye. And then the whole ride home, the entire ride home, I thought to myself, how am I going to break the news to a 6-year-old? Because I know it's going to break her heart. And sorry, I'm crying, but if I keep pausing this video, we're never going to get through everything. But I knew it was going to break her heart. And I thought about it the whole ride home. We went and we got my kid. My mom took us out to eat. We came back. We went out, picked up our food. And I was thinking about how I was going to break it to her. And we got food and things like that. And then I had her come over and, stand in front of me and look at me. And I let her know that the medical professionals that were at the house and the doctors did everything they could, but Mommy just wasn't strong enough to make it. That Mommy would not be coming home. And I was saying it. I was like, really like calm about it. I wasn't crying or anything like that. And then just look at her face and hearing her cry, it just broke my heart. And I started crying with her. She finally passed out crying, saying I miss mommy and things like that. And she slept pretty good. My mom and my sister stayed for a few days to, help out as best as they could. And then, of course, my neighbor's like, ain't nobody gonna have a heat stroke on my watch. And we have been over living at my neighbor's ever since. Even though the AC has been fixed for a couple of days now, I'm trying to give it time to, cool off, because the thermostat's broke too. So you just never know what temperature it is in that house. No, sorry, I'm very sorry. I cry when I talk about this. But, we got everything. She's, she just recently lost her husband at the end of last year, and they're still grieving with all of that. And now grieving with her on top of that. And I'm grieving on top of the loss of my grandfather, who I lost 11 days before I lost my wife. And then we just had buried him 2 days before she passed away. Talking with the coroner, told him that she couldn't be an organ donor, and that I wanted a full autopsy done, and then cremation is what we're looking at. I told him where we were going to have her cremated, and she's cremated. She's in her urn, sitting in my house. We have not done her celebration of life service yet because things have been so crazy, and I'm trying to work around a weekend that my mom can come down to be here, because she wants to be here for it, and so does my sister. So, and on top of that, I got some legal things I've got in the works. So, there's a lot. And then my neighbor got her daughter's guinea pigs. And of course my 6-year-old wanted one. Well, you can't have just one guinea pig. So my neighbor ended up getting me a guinea pig as well. So we have Thor, which is the male, and that's my daughter's little piggy. And then we have Sharana, which is the female piggy. She's younger. Thor's about 2 years old. Sharana is like, I want to say a couple of months old, maybe a couple of weeks old. She's small. She's tiny. And that could just be her breed. But the people who had her and her brothers and sisters did not know how old they were. Okay. So, we got them in their cage, and they're sitting in the front room and doing good. They seem to be happy. Thor has went from being a single guinea pig by himself in a container, in a cage, to having a cage mate, and absolutely loving it. He's talking more and more every single day to her. You could tell that that's what he wanted. He seems extremely happy, and I will try to get some pictures and share with you guys at the end of this video. Photographing guinea pigs is not the easiest. It's better to do it on video, so I might put a little video clip in there instead. Sorry for the shaking. My left hand is not as strong as my right. So, yes. Sometime later, once I get the memorial video for her celebration of life, my wife's celebration of life done, what I will end up doing is I will modify it a little bit, and then I will upload it here on this channel, in her memory, because she did a lot when we were in Arizona, up in the witchy community up there. She tried her hardest for the online witchy community. It just wasn't working out too well. There was just too many conflicting emotions and personalities, things like that. But she really did try. She'd say something and someone would sit there and attack her for it because it's not the way they do things. And it was, yeah. She was thinking about doing a YouTube channel, which I encouraged her to do because I love YouTube. I actually miss making these videos. And so, yeah, sometime later, when I get her memorial video up, the only edit I have to do with her memorial video is put in her witchy name, Sharana Silverwind, into that video. Now, for the one for the actual service is not going to have her witchy name in it. So that is like the only edit that I'll have to do is add one extra line of text to the one that comes up here on YouTube, because this is a witchy channel. So give me just a quick moment. I need to grab a drink, and I'm going to do that off camera. So that's kind of everything caught up from June 11th all the way up to present day. Like I said, I will try to put a clip of the guinea pigs in their enclosure. Now, don't come for me. I know that their enclosure that we have right now is not acceptable, or, well, it's a pretty big enclosure, but it's still not the proper amount of space that they need. I believe it's like a 6 or 7 inch cage. So I know it's not proper. I plan to change it. I just have to have the money to buy the materials to build their cage, or to order a CNC cage and then just add on to it, because I want to build like a little loft / feeding area for them at the top. I think that'd be adorable, and it would give them something to climb on so they can get some more exercise. But other than that, the nutrition's there. They're getting their floor time for exercise. Since it is a small enclosure, I do give them floor time like every other day, so they do get plenty of time to exercise and stretch their legs, not in that small enclosure. So I will see you guys in the next video. I promise the next one will be a better video, promise. It's just I needed to vlog about everything that's happened from the 11th to present day. So with that being said, guys, I hope you like seeing the clip of the guinea pigs, of seeing Thor and Sharana. And to answer a quick question that I know someone's going to ask, yes, I named my guinea pig Sharana after my wife. I named her Sharana in her memory, and I used her witchy name, the first part of her witchy name. So I did that in her honor because I was missing her. And then, of course, this morning I was missing her. I was at Walmart. I got a couple of little heart-shaped dishes to put their little salads on. So that way there's a piece of her in the cage. You know what I'm saying? All right. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy watching the clip of my guinea pigs playing around and doing whatever they do in their cage. And I will see you guys in the next video. With love and wisdom, namaste. That one is Thor, and the one that's in the tube, the little black one, that is Sharana. Thor is going ham on that kale. I'm trying to just like, oh no, she's so new, so baby. Look at her. Oh, she got a pepper in there. I'm trying to figure out exactly what they like for veggies. So I gave them a little bit of carrot, just very little bit, some cabbage, kale, and a little bit of like a leafy green lettuce, and then like a little bit of pepper, just trying to figure out what they like.